trying little.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. Today's Dollar Tree video is another Pottery Barn dupe, but this one is Halloween themed. So I was on their website and I saw so many adorable Halloween themed items, and of course I wanted to make them using Dollar Tree materials for us that are ballin' on a budget. Anyway, before I get into this video, I do want to mention that because we are using spray paints and glues to achieve some of these looks, some of these items are not exactly food safe, so you do need to take some extra precautions like using doilies or making certain things for one-time use. I will mention that a few times in the video because I know a lot of people skip through the intro, so bear with me if you hear food safety a whole lot, but I just want to make sure that everyone is safe. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
And please go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Let's go ahead and get started. For this project, I used this 6-pack of mini cordials I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm only going to use one so you can make so many of these stands. I also use this 8-pack of skulls and my E6000, and I'll link that little key in the description because I always get questions. So I'm going to grab one of my skulls and I'm going to add a very thin but generous amount of glue. So I've flipped over my cordial glass and I'm going to place the skull right on top. You can actually keep yours the right side up. For the stand itself, I found these plates at Dollar Tree, which come 2 a pack, and these bowls, which bring 3, so you can make so many of these on very little budget. This is how I'm going to position it, and you can tell exactly where the middle is. So now that my skull has dried for 24 hours, I'm going to spray paint it using this rose gold, which I found at Michael's. It is a little pricey, it's $8.99, but you can use a coupon or you can use the Rust-Oleum brand, but that one is more of a copper color. So I'm also doing the bottom as well. And when everything is completely dry, I'm going to add very, very small dabs of E6000 to the bottom of that plate. I don't want anything to spill over because that'll change the color of my spray paint. And now I'm just going to add my plate directly on top of that. So now I'm going to take my little stand and I'm going to add a very small amount of E6000, nothing crazy, I don't want it seeping out, and placing that right there. Now, because we're concerned with food safety and we don't want our food touching any of that spray paint, even though it's dry, I am going to be using these Dollar Tree doilies, and I've cut them in half so that they fit nicely on the plate. And once I do that, I'm going to fold it in half and cut out that little circle so it fits perfectly. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to have to wash this since it's coated in spray paint, so I can just wipe it down and not worry about my food or anything like that, or you can toss it, it's up to you. So now I just added my little skull for decoration and my cupcakes, and bam, I have a beautiful skull cupcake stand or food stand. This next one isn't a DIY, but I wanted to show you guys a dupe for these $22 tongs from Pottery Barn. Dollar Tree has these plastic ones for only $1, and you can buy so many. This is such a great bargain. For this little condiment server, I used a Dollar Tree candlestick and one of the skulls that I had left over, and I'm going to add a small amount of E6000, making sure that I'm adding it to whatever area of the skull touches the candlestick. Then I'm going to position it exactly where I want it, and I'm going to let it dry overnight. After that, I'm going to give it a coat of the same rose gold, making sure that everything is covered and that I let it dry really well. For the bowls, I used these white bowls from Dollar Tree. They come 2 a pack, and these are perfect. Now, when you put them together, there's a space in the middle, and that is where I'm going to place my candlestick. To attach them, I am going to be adding E6000 to all of the areas where the bowl meets, and this is just a small amount. Then I'm going to add a little bit of painter's tape while it dries. The point of this is to be able to lift it and carry it from place to place. And with the extra bowls, this is where I'm actually going to add my condiments. That way I can remove it when I'm done and I don't have to worry about the E6000 or anything like that. So bam, I have a beautiful skull condiment holder. Since I wanted to keep everything disposable, I use these plastic champagne flutes, and I also use the skeleton garland, obviously from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna cut them off of the string. And to bind these, instead of using E6000, I'm gonna be using hot glue. I'm gonna start bending his little arms where they're supposed to go, because that's the only part of his body that is not flexible. So I am going to paint him the same rose gold, and I'm only gonna do the side that is facing outward. I'm not gonna do the part that's actually touching the champagne flute. Once it is completely dry, I'm going to start by hot gluing his little feet. And with hot glue, you want to work very, very quickly if you want it to bond to plastic. If you hesitate, then it kind of just peels right off. I also recommend using a high temp glue gun so that it actually holds. You can, of course, use super glue or E6000, but because I wanted this to instantly hold and I wanted to take a little bit of the worry of the E6000 on something that's so close to my mouth, I wanted to use the hot glue. So now that this one's done, I'm going to show you how flexible he is on the other champagne flute, and as you can see, he's super easy to work with. And I'm going to bind him the same way. So since this is plastic, you can toss it at the end of the night, or you can wipe it down if you want to reuse it, but please do not wash it because remember, this has been spray painted. And bam, you have beautiful champagne flutes. These aren't a DIY either, just a dupe, but look at the price on these, and then look at Dollar Tree's plastic dupe. This is also a great option if you're concerned with food safety because you don't have to spray paint at all. For these placeholders, I use these candle holders from Dollar Tree. They come in a 2-pack and they're nice and heavy. And I'm going to use these skeleton hands, which I showed earlier. I think these are so cool and you can use them for so many things. Because this is a hard plastic, I'm going to be using my garden shears to cut them down. You can try snapping them by hand or using a saw, it's up to you. Now they did end up a little uneven and that is perfectly fine. So now you can decide if you want to use it on the inside of your candle holder or upside down, which is how I used it, and I thought it looked really cute. Now I'm just going to grab my E6000 and add a dab to the very middle where I'm going to place it. I place the hand directly above that, but to make sure that it stays upright while it dries, I ended up adding strips of tape all around it. And you can use painter's tape. I ended up using duct tape because my painter's tape was kind of weak. It was a Dollar Tree one and it was not holding a thing. Because these were covered up in tape, it took about 2 days for them to dry, but once they finally dried, I removed the tape and I was able to lift them and handle them with no issue at all whatsoever. So now I'm going to give them a coat of spray paint so they match everything, and of course it is the same spray paint that I have been using. I let these dry really well, and for the names I used flashcards from Dollar Tree, and bam, I had a beautiful place card holder. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. All of these dupes were under $5 and oh so cute. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time.